Hey everyone, before we get started on this week's show, if you want more content from We Studios, you can go to weepodcast.com. That's WEE podcast.com.
And if you want to support the show, you will not receive any tote bags or mugs.
Of course not.
We will give you nothing but more free episodes of this show. And literally that is it. Just go to Amazon.com and buy yourself something.
Actually, go to Amazon.weepodcast.com and buy something.
One of these days, I will get the website correctly. Maybe when we're actually on NPR.
We'll see.
And they make me do real ads, and they say, there's a stipulation. You have to get the website right.
You will not succeed in your NPR career. Enjoy the show, guys. 60 minutes are on the clock, and straight out of We Studios, this is 90s Percentile. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we're talking everything 90s and maybe also everything before, and if there is anything after. Trump is president, we don't know.
The doomsday clock is ticking, Jack.
But up until this point.
Up until this exact moment. We don't know what's going on. We're recording this weeks in advance, so maybe the world has already crumbled beyond repair.
I think I've said this before, but I just love the idea of people crowded around like a post-apocalyptic bonfire listening to this show.
To our podcast, which is the only media that's left. But, guys, it's not just us today. We are joined in studio with two guests. Joining us today, we have Karen Sepulveda. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
And we have Onyi Okuli. How you doing, Onyi?
What's up? I'm doing good.
Good.
So
we're happy to have you.
Yeah, we're not having you on for just no reason. You guys are the hosts of Street Class, this great podcast that started, October? September?
Yeah, September.
We really started in August.
Yeah, we really started in August. And then homegirl over here wanted to take a trip to Italy.
Yeah.
So what we did was we recorded like 4 episodes, and then while she was on her trip, we just kind of slowly released it.
Yeah.
Banking them and rolling them out.
Actually, so I'm a huge fan of your show. I recommend it to all of our listeners. They will love you guys. It's hard to describe. Maybe you guys have come up with a description because you talk about life, but it's also kind of heavy on performance and acting and tips for that and auditions. It's also sometimes it's very local. It's very New York, but it's also universal. You guys have really kind of grabbed it all.
Yeah, no limits.
Yeah, really. It's Onyi and I, when we were developing this, we were talking about like what do we don't want to talk about? Like what's important to us? I was really adamant on talking about like social justice issues and awareness, and Onyi loved that idea, and she also
and I just wanted to balance it out in terms of like providing like the entertainment aspect of it, because a lot of times when we talk about social and cultural stuff, it can get kind of serious, and so I wanted to have that balance of laughter and joy.
There you go.
So it's fun, but it also makes you think.
When we started the show, we also started in August or September of 2014 and waited a while before releasing it. But me and Dan said, all right, what do we want to do a show about? We made lists, and I looked at Dan's list and just said Dan. Yeah. And then he looked at my list and it said Dan. So
I loved it. It was great.
So
podcast empire was born. Lovely.
Actually, I've listened to all your episodes, and you've mentioned you did some test shows that you haven't aired yet. You wanted to wait until you built a following and didn't want to scare anybody away. We didn't do that.
We didn't do that at all.
We did a bunch of test shows, and then we said, I don't feel like doing any more. Let's just put the test shows out. Right. And we don't do great. It's just we scared them away right away. But so I admire your resolve at not putting them out. But apparently you are. So they can't be that bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not that bad. We started it because we wanted to do a tester. It's kind of more of like a encouragement for us to continue going, because it's like a gift at the end. If we make it through a year, then it's like, bam, this is what we did for the first episode. Yeah. So it'll be a gift to us and to our listeners that keeps us going.
That's awesome. That's great.
We don't give gifts to our listeners.
In fact, we demand they give us gifts.
That's true.
That's a gift from them. That's a gift from them.
But in a recent episode, we just outright insulted our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
And they loved it.
They love it. Those fucking idiots. Why do you even listen to this show? You could be listening to a podcast like Street Class where they give you gifts. Yeah. We just torture you.
We just mock you.
We torture your ears, your ugly, ugly ears.
Oh, God.
You guys have great announcer voices, though.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, well, we love to announce how stupid our listeners are.
Coming up next in your ear holes, it's 90s Percentile.
Suck a dick.
Oh my god.
Suck a dick, dumb shit.
Oh my god.
This is what we need to incorporate. We need to incorporate this, Karen,
I do not.
into-
No, you guys are
podcast.
guests, and I'm trying. I didn't want to like criticize. I just wanted to, give you guys the good parts of podcasting. Obviously, we've been doing it for 2 years. I could give you some advice. One of them is every episode says we should start off with you going suck a dick.
Well, we have said that in one episode. We did do that. I
Okay.
suggested that should have taken place. Remember we were talking about what were we talking about? I
don't remember.
Kardashians. It was
Sucking
the
dicks?
Kardashians.
Oh.
It was.
Sucking a D.
It was. Who was he dating? Black China.
Oh yeah,
Blac
yeah.
Chyna.
you were not
They're
happy,
still
yeah.
together.
The
Wait, they have
Kardashians.
Are they still
Baby.
together
Rob-
now?
Rob-
Did they
was
come
born.
back together?
Robbie
Oh,
K.
that's what's up.
Those
That's the next
Kardashians.
episode right there.
Those Kardashians, I just can't keep up with them.
You can't
No.
keep up
There's
with them.
there's no way to keep up with them.
So someone has a theory. Now I'm probably going off on a tangent. Who said this?
I love that
Somebody
there's
said this to
theories
me
about the
yesterday.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
All right,
They were
somebody,
dead the whole time.
somebody has a theory that if the O.J. Simpson trials would have never
Which
taken
took place in the 90s.
Right.
Sure did.
90s.
If the O.J. Simpson trials if he would have never became a football star, we would have never had the Kardashians, meaning we would never have Donald Trump. And I don't believe that.
Those are a few leaps to me. I think
Right.
you're right about OJ and Kim
How did the
Kardashian.
Kardashians lead to
Kardashian.
Trump, though?
But the Kardashians
yeah, that's where
kind
I'm
of,
lost.
I mean, I know we had this whole the real world thing, and that's
Right.
kind of what opened up the
The whole
entire
reality
Reality
TV.
Apprentice.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
I
yeah.
can see it.
Following
So
the
is that
Kardashians during that trial was also something that people were really interested in.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I like to blame the millions and millions of fucking idiots in this country.
Oh yeah, that too.
Well, it's all the illegal voters. They voted for Hillary, and I still won. It was great.
I know we talk about
Everybody
how
said so.
I know we talk
That
about how
was a great
stupid our
impression.
listeners are, but if you
I'm a big listener, Jack. Donald Trump loves 90s percentile.
Listen to
Are you
this show
calling me a
and-
dumb idiot?
I can't. Sorry,
I have my finger on the button, Jack.
it's a very tiny finger. It's not heavy enough. You really gotta push that
I have
button.
very tiny hands. Is this our topic
Can I
today?
please have a job, Mr. Trump? Can I be in your
Dan's already
administration?
taken my cabinet
Can
positions.
I please
that are
be
available.
Secretary of Podcasting?
All right.
I'll vote for you.
You start tomorrow.
I'm registered in
No
many
experience.
You
states.
report to Steve Bannon. I hope that's fine.
Is that how you say it? Banyan?
No, I don't think I
There was
fucked it up.
Bannon, like the yogurt, but with a B.
It probably is. I don't even know their names. I picked them out of a catalog.
How can you tell them all apart? They had hoods.
I have name tags. It helps see through the hoods.
Oh man.
We don't have to talk about Trump. This doesn't have to be a political
We never
podcast.
have to talk. Well, we
No,
do because he's president. And,
It's
you
an
know,
unfortunate
millions
turn
and
of
millions
events
of idiots
that our
voted
lives.
for him. So besides your podcast, before we get into the topic, what else can we plug for you guys? You guys do a lot in the New York comedy scene.
Yeah, both me and Karen are on a Boogie Manja team. So, but on
I'm
different
sorry,
teams.
a what?
Boogie Manja is kind of like the precursor to a mod night if you get on UCB.
Ah, okay.
So Boogie Manja was created by Kim Parker and her partners
Okay.
who've changed over time, but she still continues to be very active in running it. I'm on High Noon, which is my sketch team.
That's a great name.
And then my sketch team is American Danger.
That's also
Nice.
great. Both very action oriented.
Yeah,
there.
I love it.
Yeah, they're fun. I have a show coming out. My first sketch show with High Noon is coming out on February 3rd.
Okay.
At the Pit Loft at 9:00, and we usually go to the bar after.
So if listeners
There you
want
go.
to
And
hang
drink.
out, see a great show, and hang with a
I have a
90%
feeling many of
guest.
our listeners are alcoholics, and
Absolutely.
if the comedy doesn't entice you, the
The
destroying your
booze
liver
certainly will.
And
Yeah.
then my first show would be February 17th, I believe, at 9.
There you
Same
go.
Pit Loft.
Okay, very cool.
A lot happening at Pit Loft.
At Pit Loft.
Previous
Lanny?
guest Lanny
Yeah,
Harms.
yeah,
She
yeah.
does her Britney Spears show
Yeah.
there. Maybe
She did it once, and she's doing it again. I think it's February 2nd, which might be after this comes out.
There you go. And I might be at the Pit Loft watching a show.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're hiding in the rafters.
I once
like the Phantom of the
I
Opera.
once got drunk and went in the basement and started playing the piano, and they asked me to leave.
Wow.
Yeah,
And you haven't been invited back to play the piano since.
I thought that was how you get the job.
Yeah, right.
I just started doing piano, man. I just assumed.
If only
Yeah.
that was true.
Oh Lord.
Lots of shows happen at the Pit Loft. I'm also doing a character on Monday the 30th called Perfect Strangers at 7.
Ooh.
And another Pit Loft show written by my friends Bailey and Scott, the Library Card Sketch Team. And they're doing Modern Love, a Valentine show at the Pit Loft February 10th, 8 o'clock.
So it seems like if a listener came to the Pit Loft, there's a very good chance you're going to be there.
Probably.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Very
This
cool.
podcast brought to you by Pit Loft.
Right.
Give us money, Pit Loft, or at least hire me as your piano player. I need the money.
He needs the
I need
money.
the money.
I
I don't know how to play.
I don't think your Secretary of Podcasting job is going to
Give
come
me
through,
10
Jack.
minutes and I will figure out a third of Heart and Soul. I'll figure out the
All
heart.
right, we'll give you 5 minutes, though. Can you do it?
I might be able to get the
All right.
dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and
You
then
better.
and then I'll just
we have a
lose
lot
track.
riding on this, Jack. But Karen O'Neill,
Is that our show?
We're
Is that
not.
it?
We're not just here to talk about whatever nonsense we've been talking about for 10 minutes. You are our guests, and as our guests, it is your right to choose a 90s topic. But if you do not wish to choose a 90s topic, listeners have submitted topics on our website, which is 90spercentile.com, or you can just go to wepodcast.com, and you can submit your 90s topics there. We have over 1,000
Yeah, I'm
in our
surprised
random
they could
topic
figure
generator.
out how to do it.
I know,
I'm
they're
sure
very
they're all
dumb.
spelled wrong. And
Some of them are just
Oh my
pictures
gosh.
of just like frowny faces.
I
They don't know what they're
I don't know.
doing.
I get frowny faces and pictures. I mean, everything I do, podcasting, work.
It's a tough
family.
life for us. It's just the crushing disappointment that you bring to everyone
that's,
you meet,
That's
Jack.
what I figured. All right,
That's
it was.
exactly
I
right.
had two theories. That was the primary.
What was the other theory, Jack?
It was because I go around frowning all the time.
All right,
Yeah.
and the society mirrors you.
Exactly. Art is life, and life is art.
There you
and
go.
Jack's frowns, etc.
Turn the world upside down.
I believe that's Yeats.
I think it was beautiful, whatever it was.
The
But yeah.
modern day Mona Lisa.
There you go.
Jack Pacone frown, starring Julia Roberts.
So do you have a topic, or should we go right into the random topic generator?
I mean, I always have a topic, but I feel
Yeah.
like
I feel like just at least at some
Yeah.
point we should talk about 90s hip hop or 90s
yeah, we should
Okay.
totally
Music.
talk about that at some point. But I want to give the generator a try as well.
All right, should we give
Yeah,
the generator a
definitely.
spin?
Can we do
Let's
both?
try something different. Yeah, we've never done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Unprecedented.
pick the topic and then find a way to connect it to 90s
our
hip hop
topic.
Yeah.
or Kevin Bacon.
We're improvisers,
Or
so we
90s
do
movies.
like A to C everything. What's
Well-
the topic?
Well, if we're trying to connect it to the hip hop, this is going to
It's
be a
gonna
little
be
bit
a little-
difficult because what is more 90s
Steve
hip hop than figure skating? Nancy Kerrigan is our is our topic.
snap.
There's got to be a
Actually,
figure skater who
wait.
did it to hip hop.
I know, but you know what? I actually love her.
I mean, yeah.
Wait,
like-
what's the topic? Is it figure skating or is
No,
it
the
specifically?
topic is Nancy Kerrigan by listener George Martin Feldbrown, who submitted several other
Thank you,
topics.
George.
So thanks, George.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
George.
George.
I actually
Yeah.
love Nancy, and isn't that I believe that's the one. Yeah, she was my favorite, but she was skating and then she got hit.
She got
in the
hit by
knee
Tanya Harding,
By that
whacked her in
Tanya,
the-
Wow.
that
Her
trifling
husband, yeah.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so trifling.
Who's playing her?
Trifling.
That sneaky little witch.
Margot Robbie is playing Tanya.
Have you guys seen Margot Robbie? What's her face? Harley Quinn. She's playing. They're making a movie
Wait,
about
they're
Nancy
making
Kerrigan.
they're making a movie about her. Oh
they're
my
making a movie
gosh.
about Tanya Harding and about the Nancy Kerrigan incident.
Wait, what
think it's
happened?
Margot
Nancy
Robbie, right?
Kerrigan. Okay,
Okay, I don't know these white
you don't
women,
know
so
who?
can you please tell me
All
who
right,
they
so
are?
Nancy Kerrigan is a figure skater, and she's like the best of the best, right? And she was projected to win in the Olympics when this white blonde chick
Trick.
I can't find any
Trick.
pictures, but whatever.
bangs her. I mean, I don't even know how.
she came at her?
First of all, wait, yeah, she came at her.
Did she come at her like?
No, no,
did she
her-
come at her
kneecap
like
with the
Tupac
bat.
came at
No,
Biggie?
yeah, like
connection.
Wow.
connection. Tupac came at Biggie. But wait, whoa. Before we even get to that connection, though, let me
It's too late,
finish
it
telling you the
happened.
story.
It's
I know
happening.
it already happened, right? But I didn't even finish my story. Dang
Wait, tell
you,
me, tell me,
Karen.
tell me.
Wait, guys. So when this happens on your podcast, you suddenly stop the cold show.
Yeah, we
You
do.
just stop the
We
show
do.
cold, and you
Stop.
have like an alarm, and
We
you go.
do. We have an alarm.
We can't do that here, so
Sorry.
need you guys to bring
Dang.
it down
Okay.
a notch and a half. There's no editing on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one at a time.
Take a breath. Only you were saying.
So I was saying.
Actually, I liked it better when you're fighting.
We're always
didn't have to do
fighting.
anything, Jack.
We're always bickering.
We're always
Wait, so what
bickering.
happened to Nancy? Get to the point.
So like I said, so she was skating and she was about to like win the gold when Tanya came with a bat and like busted her kneecap.
Yo, that is the
that
is the straight up
I
most
gotta
like
correct
gangster
you.
thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
I like that
Like, my
version
story-
I
of
do
that's
like
how
that
I
version.
because
remember it.
I'm imagining Nancy Kerrigan is in the arena. She's on the ice. She's doing like a triple axel or whatever, and Nancy Kerrigan just comes out and smashes her.
She comes out from the ice.
Yeah, she rises.
It's like a
up
Looney Tunes
from
cartoon.
the
She
shadows.
cuts a hole in the ice. She cuts a circle, and then Nancy Kerrigan notices there's nothing
Upstate
under
me, will
her.
you?
She notices nothing's under her, and she holds up a sign that says "Yipes," and then she falls straight down into the.
That's exactly how it happens.
That's exactly
Yeah,
how
that's
it
how
happens.
I remember
We
it.
don't need to clarify anything else.
So no, I think her husband and his friend came out from the bushes or whatever, and broke her knee.
And
I
it
think
broke
that
her knee.
I don't think she physically did, although she did later do some celebrity boxing against Amy
man.
Fisher.
Yeah, probably. I think it was early '90s news grabbing monsters.
Anyway, this was a
Wow.
huge story in '92, I think.
92
And it was the
Olympics,
Winter
yeah.
Olympics because they were already the big media stars. When this happened, it was crazy. Because she didn't do it, she didn't get in trouble. They couldn't prove it. So they both competed against each other in the Olympics. They were both favorites. Nancy Kerrigan was the favorite. She ended up getting silver to
Yeah.
Oksana Bayul. So she lost, and she probably would have won if she wasn't injured.
Wait, so
Tanya-
Nancy Kerrigan actually competed? I thought she
She
like
won the
had
silver.
her. I thought she had her knee broken.
No,
and she was like
she
out.
came back. She came back, and she
Oh,
it was
I don't
like
remember
like
that.
Rocky III when Apollo Creed came out and broke Rocky's
You're
knee
not
before
gonna
the.
stop
And then Rocky
me.
fell into the ice. I remember
fell
that.
into the ice. Tanya Harding competed, and she stopped in the middle of the show, whatever you call it, the event.
The show.
And she said her shoelaces were untied, and she
Yeah.
started crying. She said, "Can I get a do-over?"
Oh, I do remember
And they
that.
gave her the do-over.
What?
Yeah. And she
This
still
is-
lost.
A lot of
White
breaks,
women
Tanya Harding.
tears. White women tears will end wars. They will.
I mean, you
get
ain't saying
Trump out
nothing
of.
but the truth, Karen, right there.
I know.
Like seriously, if a white woman starts crying on the train, all the men get up and they're like, "What's going on? Wait,
Who upset you?
our woman, no!"
Right?
What's going on here?
And in the black
Just
culture,
thinking about it's
blonde.
getting me angry.
in black culture, we're not trained for that. Like we're trained to be strong. So
So if a
we
black
don't
woman
cry
starts
with
crying on the
wet.
train, the guys are like, can somebody get her out of the train?"
I don't know if it's because I'm gender blind or colorblind. If anybody starts crying, I just walk the other
Yeah,
direction.
that's me too.
Babies, my girlfriend, I can't handle it. Dan
Yeah.
starts crying. I just
I
walk
still haven't forgiven you for that,
I'm
Jack.
sorry. I mean, I know you didn't know how
Very
to
rude.
get.
My ice cream fell on the ground, and you wouldn't even pick it
I
up
got
for
in the
me.
car and I drove away.
Busted.
Unbelievable. That's why I'm going to smash your knee later.
Crying gets to me.
Anyway, so going back to the connection part with Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah. That's a
So-
very wise connection that you
Yeah,
made.
yep.
90s beef.
Yep.
I love it.
90s beef.
Wait,
man.
let's see if
90s
it's East
beef.
Coast, West Coast. So Tanya Harding's
Oh,
from
good question.
Oregon, Portland. So she's
Okay.
West Coast.
She's
let's
a
see-
Portlandian.
Let's see if Nancy is East
Portland.
Coast. I'm just gonna type it
You
into
just clicked her name right there.
I could just. There you go.
Oh yeah.
She's from Massachusetts. She's East Coast.
East
Oh,
Coast, West
shit.
Coast.
East Coast, West Coast.
Wow.
East Coast,
Wow.
West
Northwest,
East
too.
Coast, West Coast.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And so Tupac and Biggie really started this hardcore East Coast West Coast beef to the point
Yeah.
where I remember like this little boy was like asking me, "Are you from the West Side or the East Side?" Like he wouldn't date me if I was
Wow.
from the West Side of Baltimore.
My dad
That's
doesn't
not
like me to
even the
date
coast.
anybody.
That's just within one city.
Right.
My dad doesn't want me to date anybody who's not Italian. Like I had an Irish girlfriend. He's like, close but no cigar.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do remember there being a lot of East Coast, West Coast things in the 90s that, I mean, at the time I wasn't really listening to hip hop. I have never really listened to Tupac even.
Yeah,
But-
hip hop wasn't mainstream
You
at
know,
that
I didn't
time.
really hit Staten Island until much later on.
Well, we had Wu-Tang.
We did have the Wu-Tang, you're right. But I didn't listen to them until later on either. I'm
The
very
Wu-Tang.
behind the curve. I'm still listening to Billy Joel. I think
Piano
the
Man,
kids
great
still like
song.
him. That's right.
I'm piano.
Can you figure that song out though, Jack? In the next 5 minutes? All
Well, give me.
right, I'll give you some time. To the end of the show.
I guess 5 minutes is what I'm asking.
But I'm shocked that Nancy Kerrigan competed and actually got a medal after having her knee smashed to
Well,
pieces.
people were really upset that she didn't get the gold. They're like,
Yeah.
give her the gold anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she should have gotten
She
the gold.
should have gotten the gold.
Oksana, where's she from? Russia?
Russia, I believe.
Of course
Yeah.
they wouldn't have given her
What,
the
who's the Tupac Biggie version of Oksana?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oksana is
MC Moscow? Or is that,
I don't know.
MC Scat Cat, I think.
She's still. I don't know.
I don't know.
She's
I
not a
wouldn't
part of
even know.
this.
She wouldn't even be
yeah.
a part of it.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
she
man.
wouldn't be.
I was
yeah.
thinking about Suge Knight.
I was thinking
but
of Suge Knight too. I was
but
like,
Suge-
maybe Suge Knight, but
No,
Suge
but
Knight was
Oksana
more.
wasn't-
Yeah,
yeah.
Oksana wasn't even.
Suge
in
Knight
it.
was he was basically like discovered Tupac, signed
Yeah.
under his label,
Yeah.
and became almost pretty much like a tyrant. So
Yeah.
anyone who was under his label, he would threaten and
Right.
and attack and
I
get
believe
them like
he dangled
killed.
Vanilla
Yeah.
Ice out of a window
Pretty
once,
much
right?
getting
Yep.
killed.
Yeah.
So he would be the Bob Costas, I think, in this situation.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
He actually went on set for NWA movie and threatened to like kill the actor that played him in the movie because
Wait, are
he
you
felt
serious?
yeah, because he didn't feel like he was portraying him properly.
Really?
The
He's
one,
insane.
the Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, straight out of Compton movie.
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
was saying.
yeah.
You mean Straight Outta Compton? Okay.
It was about
There was a-
NWA.
There was
I know, but I mean, you
I
gotta
thought
tell
it was the
the
other
title.
movie about NWA.
Right, you're right.
B movie. There was something at the Oscars where the actor who played Suge Knight reprised his role. Who hosted this year? Was it Chris Rock?
The Oscars this year have not happened.
No,
You mean the
well,
Golden
you know what I
Globes?
mean. Last year.
Oh, last
You know
year.
what I
I-
mean by this year.
Last year. You know I meant last year.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it might have been Chris
Anyway,
Rock.
yeah, they had a
Yeah.
thing
Yeah, it
where
definitely was.
he was talking about I forget the setup. I forget the punchline. But basically, he was
Great story, Jack.
he was doing something, and then they just showed the actor playing Suge Knight as Suge Knight standing in the balcony with like his arms folded and nodding. Chris like,
Oh,
so,
I do remember that.
well, anyway, the next nominees.
Yeah, right.
That was the only movie Straight Outta Compton I ever got to see in one of those theaters where you book the seats in advance.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like
Oh,
nice
nice.
leather
I like
seats.
those.
Yeah.
I like those
Yeah,
theaters.
those
Was
are
it
nice.
at the Alamo?
No, I
Alamo
still haven't
Draft
gone
House.
to one of those.
Oh,
I
it's
would
so
love
nice.
to. It was like on 80th Street in Manhattan.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Past guest Alex Placencio was at that theater recently,
Oh,
and he loved it.
That's a much better story than my.
I never said it was a good story, but that was a great episode when Alex was on.
So, what else do we have to say about either East Coast versus West Coast or NK versus TH?
Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, I don't know. Did she compete after that Olympics?
She retired 2 years later, so no.
Okay.
And she
So
might have
that's-
competed in non-Olympic stuff.
So it's fair to say Tanya Harding ruined Nancy Kerrigan's life.
I mean,
She also
pretty
hosted
much.
SNL after
I do
that.
remember she hosted SNL.
Where did Tanya go? Like, what was her career
She's
like
doing
after?
well. She does like
Oh,
the
for real?
scummy reality show circuit that like the shitty
I
celebrities
feel like
do.
she was on the
Wow.
surreal life. Was that the show? It was just like trash people shoved into a house together.
Oh yeah, that's where like Flavor Flav and what's her name?
I don't remember
Bridget-
who it was.
Bridget
Bridget
Nielsen?
Nielsen.
Yeah.
That was a weird,
weird.
couple.
That was
It's
a weird.
really
What?
weird couple.
I don't remember any of this.
That was
I
a
don't
weird
even
time in our
watch it.
lives.
You've seen Flavor Flav, so imagine
I
him
mean,
with
I've seen-
some Amazonian, tall, white, blonde
Stallone.
woman,
Yeah, that was weird.
Stallone's
Stallone's ex-wife.
twice his size and weight. It was really creepy.
Wait, so they really together?
Yeah, they were together.
They may have gotten married. Actually, I don't. They're not together anymore.
But at one
That's a
point they
great
were
picture.
really
It's
together.
the first picture that comes up when you Google
Here-
their names together.
Here's a picture with Bridget Nielsen squeezing Anna Nicole Smith's boobies with Flavor Flav
Now-
making some sort of expression.
All right.
If I were to tell you that one of these people is dead, you wouldn't think it was the one in the middle.
Right.
Like the
Wow.
two crazy people in the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Still
also
with
couldn't
us.
tell how decomposed her body
That's
is now.
true. Well, you
That
know,
sounds really creepy. It would make sense if you listened to
we've
episode 21
talked about Anna Nicole Smith
Yeah.
previously on the show
and how Wikipedia has theorized on how decomposed her body is.
for some bizarre reason.
Oh, they're a
Well,
cute
to
couple.
each its
Look at
own.
that.
Oh my God.
They're
No,
an
what
odd
is
couple.
that?
They
That's
are
so weird.
more of an odd couple than Oscar
Wow.
and Felix.
No, I'm like, love is love, whatever.
Yeah,
but
love is
it
Yeah.
just looks so. It's hilarious to look
So
at.
they're not together anymore, though.
Not anymore.
I don't think so.
But they
no.
were together for a long time.
Yeah.
That's sad.
So wait,
So
what's
this
Tanya
was
Harding?
before or after his reality TV show about trying to find.
This was
some girl?
before. Yeah.
Before.
She came on the show, I think, the first season when New York was there. Do you remember New York?
I remember New York.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
love New York.
Tiffany, she's insane. But they were on the show. So Bridget comes on the show and she's like, this is the love of my life. You take care of him.
wow.
trying to haze all the girls
Yeah.
or
Jeez.
something. It was really weird.
Actually, that's kind of a cool conceit, like to have a bachelorette show, but the season finale is you have to fight Bridget Nielsen for the lover.
I've been saying they should do that on ABC's The Bachelor for years.
It's like, all right, you get a rose, and you get in the ring with Red Sonja herself.
She will
Let
break
me
you.
see. I'm still on the Tanya Harding page here.
I
Music and
did know
opera.
this fact that the Weird Al song Headline News from 1994 has a whole thing about Tanya Harding.
There's a 30 for 30 on ESPN about their
Oh, yeah.
rival.
I heard that was really good, and I never got a chance to watch it.
Oh, so the film is called I, Tanya. That sounds terrible,
Wait,
and I
how
don't know
did
why
she
anybody
get
gives
a
a shit.
movie?
Yeah, that's
Who
ridiculous.
the-
Jeff Gillooly. That was the guy. That was her boyfriend that hit hit
that
Nancy's
hit her?
knee.
He's
'Cause I
being played by
remember-
Winter Soldier.
He's being played by Sebastian Stan because I remember just like late night at the time having so much fun with the name Gillooly.
What
As they
what does
often
he
did.
look like? Jeff Gillooly.
Let's
bring him
see.
up.
Let's see.
There's a picture of the back of his head. That's all that you
He
get
looks like
on Wikipedia.
he looks like a young Putin with a leather jacket on,
Oh yeah,
and that's the.
Gillooly.
Wow.
Jeff Gillooly.
Oh, Harding had a celebrity sex tape.
Sex tape. Yes, I remember.
She
that.
purposely
Are
put
you-
it out there
I'm
herself.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
She
I mean,
sounds like the making of a Kardashian.
I guess I could see why this
Yeah.
would be an interesting figure for a movie, but why?
I don't understand
why
what that movie's gonna
reward
be.
that behavior.
I know
Yeah.
why.
like, do we really need a movie looking into the psychosis of Tanya Harding? Like,
She's
why
not the
was she
Zodiac
driven?
killer.
Yeah.
It's just- I mean, if anything, Nancy Kerrigan. I mean, probably wouldn't go see this movie, but that seems like an uplifting, generic
Nancy-
sports movie.
yeah,
Sure,
Nancy
yeah,
Kerrigan.
yeah.
She gets clopped
Her
in the
movie
knees.
should have
and-
been made.
Yeah,
you
one of
know, I
those
would've
inspiring
gone to see
movies.
it.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with our fucking society. We
Because
reward,
we
like
reward
people
bad
who
behavior.
do.
Yeah. Well, let's
I
make
mean,
a movie
'cause
about the
shitty
villain.
Kim came out because of a sex tape. So I mean, the
Yeah,
whole
it's a good point.
Kardashians resting
president.
on.
Our
you
president
know?
has a sex tape. He does have a sex tape out there.
Donald
Possibly.
Trump?
Big Donnie.
A lot of peeing going on.
I love urination.
I love people peeing all over. I don't
Look
want
at
to
what
get
you
involved.
started,
Can
Karen.
Dan
Look
be
at what you
arrested for
started. I feel like if you bring the name Trump, he comes out.
I'm everywhere.
If you say it 3 times, you do not want to know what happens. It's so much worse than Beetlejuice. It's Beetlejuice 2. He goes Hawaiian style.
I won Hawaii. I had 50 million votes there.
I'm going to make Hawaii a new state. Sorry, it's already a state. It's going to be a new state. It's going to be called New Hawaii. It's
Gonna
going to be
build a
so much
wall
better.
around
We're going to build a wall in the water. There's too many fish getting to Hawaii.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I'm interested in seeing what this tape that
The sex tape? We could look it up. Oh.
Putin's like
Right.
That Donald tape
the
in
alleged
Russia.
Donald Trump tape. Yeah.
I believe it's there. I believe something's there. I don't know.
That's
but
there's alternative facts that we believe, and that I agree. I
Right.
believe with that alternative fact. You know, there may be other facts out there, but
Right.
I was at first. I wanted to. I'm a pretty political guy, and I try to. I try to be very objective, and I say, look, let's go not alternative facts. Let's go by real facts. Let's judge Trump on stuff like this. I don't like when people would make fun of Trump for being this like red bloated sack of goo. Like I was like, that's not. There's so much worse to say about him. But now that I've realized, it really gets. That's all he cares about is his reputation. And
Absolutely.
the last week he's been president, all he's been talking about is his numbers and who follows him and how well he's liked. And they're all
right.
lies.
And how big of a deal?
And
Like how many people were at the inauguration?
So this is like, so I just now, and I've never been political on Facebook. I've always, I have a very, very wide spectrum of people that I've, family. I come from Staten Island, for Christ's sake. So I try not to piss off friends and family. I try to just keep it to myself. Every once in a while, I'll say some stuff. Besides, like, I'm a political junkie. I love live tweeting debates and stuff, but
Right.
I don't get into policy because I don't think Facebook is a good venue for that. There's no way to explain yourself without
Facebook's not a good venue
Yeah.
for
for
anything.
anything.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat
Really
photo-
isn't.
But anyway,
Cat photos,
but
yeah.
I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, I've really just been ramping it up, and I'm just because I can't. I have to say something.
Right.
It's such a
Yeah.
joke.
We
and I'm
all
pissing,
need an outlet.
And I can see I'm pissing friends off, and then some are unfollowing me and blocking me because they don't want to see that shit.
Right.
And I don't want them. I don't want to lose them as friends. I want to keep in touch with them, but it's just I can't not say anything because
But
it's
are
just.
they your friends though? Because part
They're
of being a
acquaintances.
friend
Yeah, they're
is
acquaintances.
accepting.
I know it's
Different
tough.
beliefs
it's
and
tough.
opinions.
Also, I feel like this is a lot of things that a lot of like white people have been experiencing after the election, where they're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to piss my friends off, but I need to say something now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
And
other
it's like,
thing.
yes, use your voice, because if not, people are not going to start looking into the facts because people want to prove that they're right. So if they're going to go against you, they want to look at their facts, and then they're going to start reading. Oh my God, they're going to start reading? And then they're going to realize...
What's going to happen in this country?
They're going to realize that this whole thing is like Trump's entire election is just like bullshit.
Yeah.
His
Some would
entire
say
stance is...
that Trump was the Tanya Harding and that Hillary was Nancy Kerrigan.
There you
and
go.
her
Except-
emails were the knee.
Except she got except
And James Comey was Jeff Galooly.
Trump and his staff are using private email servers.
I know.
That's the thing that made her lose.
It's insane. We
can't
are
register.
living in
You
an
can't-
insane time.
Nothing makes sense. It's
Yeah.
Franz Kafka. But my point is, so I am trying to post things of substance. Not the place to go into it because I could talk forever.
Sure, yeah.
But I am doing that thing I've never done before with the troll, making fun of his hands and his pee-pee. And like, you know, I don't know if that's true, the pee-pee thing. It could just be, but I'm
could
but
be
I'm making
anything.
pee-pee jokes because it bothers him. And I
Right.
want to bother him. I want to piss him off so much that maybe he walks
piss
away.
him off!
Piss him off. He likes pee all over his face. No, and it's funny that, but is that a good thing or am I stooping to his level? Did he make me less of a person?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
He made you
Yeah.
less of a
We brought
person
each other
for sure.
down.
But it's also good to get that out.
I know.
you
But by the way, President Trump, if you're listening, I will take a job. I will sell out like that.
Oh, God.
I have
no.
not much to lose. I'm a privileged young white man. I'll just if you know, I can't pay my rent, please just hire me for anything. I will be your biggest supporter.
So I don't think we have any more to say about Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, that whole situation.
But
Do
we
you
can
guys
talk
wanna-
more about 90s music.
Do you want to
Okay.
pick another
movies,
topic and see if we can
and-
tie it to 90s hip hop and movies?
Oh, that's a
Or we-
great challenge.
well, you guys
Let's
could-
do that.
you guys could- all right.
Let's pick another.
All right.
It's a challenge.
We
It's a
got it.
challenge.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I will connect anything.
Yeah,
I will like
let's do
literally
it.
find a connection.
Speaking of connections, our topic is Connects.
The Lego,
The Lego type knockoff thing. This comes from listener Carrie Nayuli. I hope I'm saying that right. Or Car Nayuli. Connects.
Thank you, Car.
Connect.
So these
I
were
don't
like-
know what that is.
Oh, I remember
They
that.
like linked together
They
and you
had,
build
like,
structures with
magnets.
them.
That thing was so
Yeah.
Okay.
We're Googling
Here's
it
what
now.
What the
here's
flute?
what I always thought. And again, I'm coming from my upbringing, so I don't know how other people lived.
Yeah.
I had Legos because they're
I
Legos.
also had
You have
Legos. Yep.
If you have why get this? If you have I'm assuming they're
So-
next to each other on the shelf at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Who goes? You know what? I'll get the Connects.
I feel like Connects were kind of different. Connects was almost more like the Erector set, if you remember that, which I had that
I had
too.
a knockoff Erector set. It's called
I
like
don't.
Steel Builders or something.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Steely Dan's.
Yeah, it was Steely
Like,
Dan.
Steely
They released
Dan
their
had
own
released-
Erector
exactly,
set.
That's exactly right. But Connects, yeah, they were like plastic little tubes with like gears and things that you just kind of snapped them together to build, I guess, helicopters, because that's what half of the Google images that
Right.
came up are.
There's a plane.
A biplane. I didn't realize you built so many aircraft with Connects, but apparently
Wow.
you did.
This seems like really
Like-
useful for like Robot Club or
Sure.
Ooh.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I don't know.
Like the big
Is that what they
nerds.
call it? Robot Club?
They probably call it Robot Club somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a robot club in some school somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I never had Connects. I remember the
I've
commercials pretty well.
never had Connects.
Did any of us have
I-
Connects on this
no.
podcast?
No.
No.
Do you have Legos?
No.
I always wanted Legos, but I didn't have it.
I try to buy Legos for like my nephews and my cousins and my nieces, the cousins, the younger kids in my family, and it's hard because I always just had a Tupperware full of Legos. That's what I had. I don't know where they came from. They were just I was born
Right.
and they were there.
Yeah.
And I go to buy them sets, and I'm poor, and I was like, I'm going to buy them a Millennium Falcon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it's
That
like
is-
it's like $600. This Star
Yeah,
Wars
that's
spaceship.
insanely
Yeah,
expensive.
so I can't do that. So I was like, all right, what's in my price range? And I see, oh, here's Luke Skywalker's boot for $10-15.
Like his shoe?
Yeah, no, it's there's some like unidentifiable Star Wars vehicle that you would never know. It's just it was in the background of one frame of Attack of the Clones,
Right.
and it's $15. I'll get him
Dexter
this.
Jester's
It
Diner?
was Dexter Jester's. No, that would be ridiculous. I would get Dexter
I would
Jester's
get that
Diner
too, actually.
It would maybe his fry cook, like just
Yeah,
like
right.
the fryer. But so I give him this for $15, and it's like 8 pieces, and they're all original pieces. It's like a window and a wheel. There's no
Right.
just bricks. And how do you get kids just bricks to play with the bricks now? It's all Harry
models.
Potter.
They're basically
Yeah.
model
They're
kits now.
franchising.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
basically
yeah.
they don't care about Legos. They want to sell the brand. They want to sell Harry Potter. They
Right.
want to
Right.
so you're just getting these. You can't put a sorting hat into a wheel. It doesn't
I
work.
mean, you could
Yeah.
try it, but you'd
Break it.
ruin the sorting hat forever.
So I just needed to vent about that. I was really upset that I gave my
well,
nephew a shitty present
I'm
this
glad
year.
that you vented, Jack. That's what this podcast is here for you to vent about your nephews and the toys that they're playing with.
I also gave him a Slinky. He loved it. We did it. We went down the stairs a few times. We called it a day. It was great.
Nice.
Well, he was like, "Yeah, let's keep doing it." I was like, "No, I'm done. I'm gonna have a beer." But it was nice. It was a nice moment.
I had a Slinky, but I straightened it.
Well, speaking of nephews, Beyonce Knowles has a nephew.
Nice.
Oh yeah, she
Well done.
90s hip hop,
And she came out with Destiny's Child.
which was like 98, 97.
Let's just fuck Connects. We don't have anything to talk about with Connects. Let's talk about 90s hip hop because that's you guys clearly want to talk about 90s hip hop. We could try one more if you want to try and connect it, but
No, let's leave those
Our
suggestions.
topic is the opposite of 90s hip hop. What would the opposite of 90s hip hop be?
polka music.
Weird Al, yeah, right.
Yeah, Weird Al, probably.
No, Weird Al falls into some of that in some way because of his parodies.
He did have parodies all about the
I know.
Pentiums and things like that.
Toby Keith's like 9/11 happened and drinking or tricks.
America. It's the greatest. Garth Brooks would be the opposite of 90s hip
No,
hop.
Garth Brooks is a little less conservative.
Well,
than,
but Garth Brooks was around in the 90s. Toby Keith, I think, was later.
all right. Well, Toby Keith also had that alter ego.
I don't
Was he
wanna-
hip hop?
No,
Not Toby
no,
Keith.
that was
Garth
Garth
Brooks.
Brooks.
Was he hip
Talking
hop?
about Chris Gaines?
Chris
No,
Gaines.
he was emo, man.
Oh, he had a soul patch.
He had a soul patch. It was legit.
Do you remember that? Do you remember Garth Brooks? He came out.
I don't know
with-
who you guys
I
are.
know.
They
We're
You don't know
trying
who
to
Garth
figure
Brooks is?
out.
These are not
no,
things-
okay.
Are these
I think he's country, right?
He's a
He was
country
like
artist.
the
He's
big
country.
country
I'm a
guy.
Yankee. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I couldn't tell you one
Yeah.
song by
That
him.
was his big
I
song.
just know
Hey
he
guys,
was famous.
When did I know Rock was big over there? I don't know, but Switchfoot. When did that come out? But that was in 2000s.
I've heard
I
the
think.
name Switchfoot, but I don't
know what
anything
that
No,
is.
about
no,
them.
you don't know nothing
I think that's
about.
like a new
that's
metal
the
type thing or
closest
something.
thing to rock I know.
Switchfoot.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't
it's
even-
called
What does that
Switchfoot,
even
maybe,
mean?
right?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it
for
means
Switch-
or who it
no,
is.
they were popular. They did Dare You to Run.
We'll look it up. Is this like, did they name their band after when you're sitting on the couch and your foot falls asleep, so you like get up
Yep,
and you
that's
put the
exactly
They're
what
like
it
a
was.
Christian rock band.
Oh,
But like
I don't know
they
what
don't
that is.
say
Oh,
like
they're
in their
like, "Dare
music,
you to
yeah,
run,
dare you to run, dare you to something.
I don't think I've
Dare
ever
you
heard
to
that
move.
song.
Yeah, there it go, right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Switch.
Oh,
What is
I-
it?
Switch
yeah,
2000.
Switchfoot. I
2000.
told you, Switchfoot. Oh, it came out in 2000.
Turn of
Just
the century.
missed.
That's
just
90s.
missed the
That's
1990s.
90s.
Pretty 90s.
But yeah, that's.
I didn't know they were.
I
didn't know-
rock.
I actually love
Okay,
their
Christian
songs.
rock.
Like that album they came out with was really really good. But I didn't fall in love with it until like long after, when I was watching. Yes, this is my song right there. When I was watching.
I've
I
never
remember.
heard this song
Player?
before.
Really?
Never.
Wait, no,
it's
never
so
mind.
popular.
Oh man, my battery's dying on my wireless keyboard here.
Technical difficulties in Wii
Wrong
Studios.
mic.
I loved the old like music video
See?
look.
Oh, yeah, I've
they
heard
make it
this
look
song.
like action movies.
I know that like whatever that is.
Oh, look at the lyrics. The lyrics is king.
It's running the opposite direction.
I was listening
Just
to
like
Papa
Batman.
Roach.
He's either a hero or a coward. I can't tell which one.
Papa Roach.
That was
Yeah.
my big band.
Papa
That was
Roach?
Jack was a big
That
Papa
was my
Roach
big.
fan.
That was my big band when I was in high school.
Because you cut your life into pieces, and it was
Oh,
your last
Green
resort.
Day. Green Day. I remember. I don't listen to them, but I remember
Yeah.
they
We're
were
getting
popular.
They were around.
Hip hop.
We're totally. I'm like, let's
Let's
bring it back to
talk
90s
about-
hip hop,
yeah,
and you're bringing up
TLC.
Switchfoot and
Oh my
Papa
gosh,
Roach.
TLC. I love TLC. Those were the girls. Or In Vogue. Oh no, wait. SWV. Sisters with Voices.
Oh, was that
SWV.
90s?
Yes,
That was
SWV.
probably like 80s, 90s, right? No.
What?
I'm
What
not
was,
sure.
what was their big hit?
Guys, I'm trying to look it up. I don't know if
look
you've
it
ever
up.
used a wireless touchpad before, but when the batteries are low,
Yeah, it's not
low
gonna
and it's
work.
only working like every 6 finger stroke, it's like trying to wield a fire hose. I've
and
been
aim it at YouTube.
and aim it at Switchfoot.
Let's look it up. Let's look up SWV and see when they came out. They did come out with I Get So Weak, and I know that had
By
to
the
be
way,
90s.
can we
That's
look at
like all
the other
90s.
YouTube choices with sisters with real
Voices.
hair,
I don't-
sisters with John Cena,
Sisters with John Cena. What
sisters
the
with 48-inch booties.
You're right. They
Wow.
were formed in 1990 as a gospel group.
I told you.
And became one of the most successful R&B groups of the 90s.
I know my 90s. I love my
I
90s
probably
music.
shouldn't have questioned you, but
Of
yeah.
course, I love my 90s music.
I mean, this is probably
I'm
submitted
so
by Dan Dennis, but we
into
might as well talk
you.
about it right now.
Sisters
my
with Voices.
jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, look. They don't sing like that anymore.
Nobody sings
I mean,
like that.
this was
I
only
could listen
27
to-
years ago.
I could listen to 90s R&B all day and all night. It's just like, it's the perfect music.
It's sex music.
It doesn't, well, that's true.
It's sex
yeah.
music for sure.
No,
yeah.
not
But it doesn't,
overtly.
it doesn't
No, not
assault your
overtly.
ears.
People put it on to
You know,
get
this
it's just
music,
like-
I love classic rock by, from the 70s, 80s. This sometimes I can't listen to it. It's too loud.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
mellow. It's
I
It's
feel
really
like
chill.
90s R&B. There's that.
Yes, I like that.
That you don't
It's
hear
really
anymore.
classic.
Like every
Snap.
song has
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
it was good. It was just sway snap or whatever.
they still have the. I mean, this is
And then-
just like 10 years old, but Birthday Sex kind of had that.
I guess, but that maybe.
I could
I
think
love the style too, like the baggy jeans. Like nothing was super tight.
it was
Yeah.
so
Iconic
comfortable.
90s.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
just
want baggy
comfortable.
jeans to come back into style.
Yeah.
Because
I was never
Baggy
into the baggy
jeans.
jeans.
Oh,
they
a
just
wife
they
beater
just
or something.
like tight
Yeah,
jeans
it
are in
wasn't-
now, and I put the jeans on and they hurt, and
And
like I gotta
yeah,
bend down to
it's
get
so
some under the
tight.
desk, and it's like a whole operation. I'm like, I gotta figure. It's like playing Twister to stretch my legs to
Yeah.
get down there, and
That's as God
Then-
intended it, Jack.
If you're a woman, you get yeast infections. That's fun.
As God intended it.
God,
There is no God. I'm just kidding. But let's talk more about 90s hip hop. Who else we got?
We
90s
mentioned
R&B.
TLC. I have a very quick TLC story.
Oh,
What's
let's
your
hear it.
TLC story?
So listeners of the show might be familiar with Uncle Frank, my heroin-addicted uncle that helped raise me and stole all my stuff growing up,
put
including
bologna in your
including
video
slices
games.
of bologna, and one time pulled me off a bike and hocked a loogie in my ear because he thought it was funny.
Oh, God.
God.
He lived in the basement, and I remember there were
Like you
multiple
do.
times. And now that I think about it, he was probably high on crack. But multiple times, he would just be cleaning
Yeah.
for hours at a time, and he would have "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" playing, and he would be singing it at the top of his lungs. And this is like a real redneck, he had a mullet, and there's a Confederate
Yeah,
flag in the back
yeah.
of his window, and it's just like, and he's just singing "Don't
Go Chasing
Chasing Waterfalls."
Wow.
Why would
It's
your
relatable.
Why would your Italian uncle have a Confederate flag?
He didn't actually have a Confederate flag.
okay.
A lot of I don't know if you never noticed this, but where I'm from, Midland Beach, a lot
Yeah.
of cars had Confederate flags, and
Really?
from time to time he'd steal one of them. So, but
Oh,
but
okay.
he himself did not have a
I
Confederate
don't think
flag.
I've
in the
ever
back of
noticed a Confederate flag
Yeah.
in New York, let alone
yeah,
Staten Island.
not like in the back window, like
Yeah.
not on the bumper, but
Well,
A lot of people, or a lot of places in other countries have the correct Confederate flag or use it just because it's a sign of rebellion against
Right.
the state.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or against the country. It's
a little tainted.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's tainted on the West, like Western countries, but Eastern countries are like, oh, this means we're rebelling against our country and like.
boy.
don't some people still use the swastika, because the swastika was originally a Buddhist symbol of like peace, right?
I think
Yeah.
it's the reverse of the swastika.
It's
I never know
Hindu.
which direction it goes, but yeah, it's a
Well, the
Hindu
Nazis
symbol.
had a lot of mirrors. They're very vain people.
It's true. That's why Trump has all those
But
mirrors now in the White
but
House.
I feel like some still use the symbol, even though it's again kind of tainted.
Yeah, no, people definitely do. Like people like to be assholes. Essentially, will make it like their Twitter avatar profile and be like, "What? It was an ancient.
yeah,
it's a
it's
Hindu
not- it's
symbol
not
before
evil."
it was any hate symbol, so it's totally fine if I use it." It's
Yeah.
not.
That's like every
Yeah,
Trump supporter
but
ever
you have to,
rationalizing.
like,
Confederate flag.
A lot of
is
people
very
get
much the same.
Yeah.
That's-
tattoos with the, but it makes more sense when you have
20 minutes are on the clock, and we fucked something up, and we missed out on the rest of our conversation.
Our SD card
my
filled
God.
up in the
SD
middle of the
card filled
recording.
up, and we only realized it when the show was essentially over.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we had a great conversation that is
Yeah.
now
Had some-
lost to the ages. I enjoyed it.
We
and Jack
enjoyed. It
enjoyed
was
it.
a great conversation. It just
Yeah.
wasn't. It was just for us. That was
Yeah.
we did. This is our 50th episode. We deserve one just for us.
Yeah, we talked about Tupac, we talked about J-Lo, and
Yep.
unfortunately, all of it is gone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're not exactly sure what we lost, but yeah, it must have been all the Tupac, all the J-Lo stuff.
Yeah. So
That was your gift to
Oh my!
yourself.
That was. I was
Yeah.
sounding
That was-
very white in that conversation. It's
we
probably
were
for the
So
best.
It's probably for the best that it's gone because we.
I'm calling him Tupac now. I was calling him Tupac at the time.
All right, so I think what we're gonna do to kind of make up the time that we lost, we're
Besides
gonna take,
apologize
besides
profusely to you
apologize
guys.
again. We apologize several times off air, but we'll apologize on air. But thank you for your time. We're gonna take another random topic from the old generator, and that'll round out the show.
And I will keep a constant eye on this Zoom of mine because I
Hoping
walked
it's
the line.
Tupac.
I'm Tupac'd out. I heard that the minute of a song,
Yeah.
and that's I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you guys? I don't know. You said Zoom, and that reminded me of Zenon.
The
not
warrior
90s.
princess.
No, that's Xena.
Oh.
Zenon.
What was Xenon?
I have no
That's on
idea
the
what
periodic
Xenon.
table of elements. It's
Oh.
a noble
Xenon.
gas.
It's an inert gas,
The
I believe.
movie on Disney Channel.
Girl, I thought you was about to talk
I don't
about
know
This
what
girl
that
lives
is.
in space, and they had a rock star come up to space to like perform a concert for them, and it was called Zoom, Zoom, Zoom.
Wow.
Make
Like
your heart
that-
go boom, boom. Supernova girl.
No, I don't know.
We're gonna
any
look
of
it
that.
up.
It was great.
Look it
was
up.
We got 20 minutes to kill. Let's do
I
it.
do vaguely remember that being a thing, but I could not say that
Raven
I've seen
Simone
it.
was in that movie too.
That's a pretty
I
90s
remember Raven.
individual.
From
Yeah.
Bill Cosby show.
Xenon with an X or with a Z?
I think it's a Z. Yeah, it's a Z.
Let's see here.
Girl
of the
Xenon,
21st
girl of the 21st
century.
century. It is all right, you know what? It's a 90s topic. Let's just talk about Xenon.
The Zequel.
Oh, 99. Oh, yeah.
It's 99.
Z3.
Kristen Storm. Yeah, that's what her
She
name
looks
was.
familiar. Kristen Storm. Sounds like a porn host.
Kristen Storms?
And Raven. She was just
What?
Raven at the time. Those really do sound like porn names.
Kristen Stone and Storms and
Wait,
Raven.
is that Raven
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
background?
Raven Simone.
Oh my gosh, I used to love me some Raven and how she was like 4 years old rapping. I was like, she's so cute.
This
Have you ever
cur-
seen her rap at 4 years old?
No.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
It must
Who?
be.
Which one?
Raven
What
Simone.
about her?
She was a rapper. Like she came out and she was like just rapping, and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so
well,
cute.
as a child, she
As a
would rap for
child.
fun.
There's me and my sister do quite a rap, a scat that Raven Simone used to do on the Cosby Show, where she'd be like pop pop weasel. It was adorable, and it stuck.
Nice. I just liked when we were looking at Kirsten Storm's Wikipedia page there that in the time since this Xenon movie came out, she was married, she had a child, and she's gotten divorced.
What?
So she's lived a
Yeah.
life.
She hasn't done very much.
No.
But the fashion in that movie influenced the fashion of our time, the 21st, like the turn of the century.
Yeah.
Like the bright pink leggings and like silver leggings and like all this, like people thought we were going to dress like that.
And then 9/11 happened.
That put an end to that.
We lost our innocence. We lost our pink leotards.
Yeah, we all lost our Xenon. Yeah, so
What?
Raven Simone. I think you might have to put Simone
Yeah.
to find her.
yeah, you just searched Raven rapping and we got Nevermore, the
Yeah.
Raven rap.
Oh, I thought it was like going to be like an actual rapping, like Raven, like a crow.
Yeah, there it is right there at 1993, I
With
think.
Sway?
Oh, either one,
no.
whichever one.
Raven Simone, that's what little girls are made of. That's what we
Oh,
pulled
this
up
is
Look
here.
at this. Look,
Adorable.
she's
She
so
looks so
cute.
cute.
She's like dressed like a little
Question.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are little girls made of?
Flesh and blood and bone.
Sugar and Spice Jack. Well, this certainly sounds 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goodness.
She just.
Okay.
This looks like a salt and pepper video
I've
that has
never
been like
seen that
shrunk.
Replaced with
Yeah,
kids.
salt
Yeah.
and pepper, yeah, right?
This is
exactly
the most
what it looks like.
90s like
the most 90s.
Yeah.
hip hop
Yes.
video. Oh, and she's it's getting every
So
single
cute.
trope of every hip hop
It-
video ever.
The
It-
water.
It took us 50
The water,
episodes.
the
We've
baggy
hit peak
pants.
90s.
We've hit
Yes.
the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it.
It was
Yes.
Raven Simone rapping in
That's what little
1993.
girls
Yes.
are made of in 1993. That's the most 90s thing.
Oh my god, she's so fucking cute.
So cute.
She is.
Oh, that's Pepper, salt and pepper lyrics.
Oh my God.
So how old is she here? She's got to be like 8 or 9,
I
right?
think she's like 8 or 9 or something.
She
but
should have
looks
joined
like
Salt and
4.
Pepper as like ketchup.
Oh my god,
that would've been
right?
I just want to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry, guys. It's amazing.
She's even dancing in like an alley
She's-
next to a burning trash
Right?
can. That is the most 90s thing.
So
Look,
90s.
I don't want to trash her or diminish her. She has a great career still,
Yeah.
but this is like prodigy level. Like
It
talent
is,
right here.
actually.
I
It
feel
is.
like where she
Yeah.
is now, like the
It's
view
not-
isn't good
she's
enough for her.
trash.
Is that where she
Yeah.
is? She's on
Straight
The
up
View?
trash.
She was.
I don't know what she's
I
doing
wouldn't call
these
her
days.
trash, Karen. See, this is where we start fighting again.
Uh-oh. That's what happened last time. It wasn't the I was
Wait,
just getting the SD card to
why
be
do you
polite.
think she's not trash?
She's not trash. Nothing happened. Okay, is she locked up? She does not. I would call her trash if she had a career like what's her counterpart? That white girl, Lindsay Lohan.
Ugh.
Okay, like
From
Nina
That's So
Simone.
Lindsay.
Nothing happened with Nina Simone. Nothing happened with Raven Simone. Like she's a good girl, but you just don't see her anywhere. Why? Because she got punished for posing nude. But Lindsay Lohan can pose nude and show up late to concerts or whatever she's supposed to do and have all kinds of stuff going wrong with her. But she get what, a reality TV show?
Well, Raven
Raven Simone
Simone.
posed nude?
Raven Simone posed nude. It was the same photographer that Lindsay Lohan posed with because they
that,
were
like,
roommates.
creepy old man.
They were like roommates at the time, so they both did it at the same time.
Right.
And then Lindsay Lohan wasn't even bashed for it, but Raven Simone lost her
So that's what little girls are
television
made of.
show,
Hey now.
Yeah, which is
busted.
which is a straight up just like standard of like white women do one thing, black women do the same thing, and black women get reprimanded.
Right.
It's a
So
crock
much
of
more
shit.
than. But Raven Simone is not popping now.
She's not popping now.
Because of her ideology and her saying like, I come from every country in Africa but one, and I come from every country in Europe but one. I'm not.
What's the countries?
And then she says like, I'm not African American. Like her whole claim of not being
Did she
African
say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I
you
didn't know
need
that.
to do your research.
Well, first of all, I didn't
Nope.
know she said it, but it sounded like something she would say at this point in time. But you know what? I don't care because they
says
did
a
her
lot of
wrong.
crazy stuff.
They did her wrong when she was younger. And guess
Yeah.
what? I mean, she's a grown woman. She can say whatever she want to do. She can say whatever she want, do whatever she want to do. But she isn't. I applaud her for not hoeing herself up in the streets. Like I applaud her for that. I applaud her for not
hoeing up, but she posed nude and lost her TV show.
Okay, first of all, her roommate was Lindsay Lohan, so that should be expected. And
you're done.
Second of all,
Done. You're
second
done.
of all, okay, I think it was
Wait.
like not even.
Can I point to the third video where Orlando Bloom,
Brown.
not Bloom,
great if it was
Orlando
Orlando
Brown, who played Eddie on the show with Raven.
Describes her breasts at 14.
He
I don't know if we can play
describes,
this.
he describes going down on her in this video.
Wait, are you serious?
What?
Yeah,
At
it's
14?
crazy. He's like,
a lot of watching, but she had to be a certain person. And you know, when you have the power and the money of a grown man to do it, and your daddy is Billy Ray Cyrus.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Now he's talking about
oh,
Miley.
he's talking about Miley.
That's definitely
But
Miley
in-
Cyrus.
So he's been around with the Disney girls, apparently. That's creepy as fuck.
I've never heard
and
of this
he-
period of Raven Simone's life where she was rooming with Lindsay Lohan, and I
She was, I
definitely
think.
want to hear more
Yeah,
about
she
this.
started dating Bridget Nielsen. Did that make
I don't
it?
know if that got cut. I
I'm
have
sure
no
she
idea what's
was.
in.
I'm sure she was rooming
He,
with
like-
Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, we're not
Someone
going to show
had told
this
me
part,
that.
but he says like, he's like, oh yeah, you know me and Raven. He's like, what about you and Raven? He's like, you know, we went. They're like,
Really?
he does that. He's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she like,
That
she came
is-
to me and she was like, what?
Oh my god.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that
What,
not how you
really?
describe oral sex with a woman?
Those are
That's
regular sex noises to me. Blah, blah, blah. I am a robot.
It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
when I have
man.
sex, it sounds like
Now
a Looney
see,
Tunes
if-
cartoon when
now-
Bugs Bunny is
now-
off screen.
To be
He's
honest,
someone to be mad at because look at
Yeah,
him.
he's
What is
like-
he doing with his life right now? Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
mad at him. He can't even speak.
I'm trying to, because we can't watch the whole video, I'm trying to see if I can tell from his face if he's doing blah, blah, blah.
So who is Orlando Brown? He was he
played
was on
Eddie.
That's So Raven. I see.
Yeah, he
okay.
played the little boy.
And
He didn't play his brother,
He
did
was
her brother?
3J
No, he
on
played her
Family
friend.
Oh, that
Matters.
is 3J.
Oh no, he played a friend, not the brother.
no, Corey played her brother.
Oh,
Her younger
okay.
brother.
He played her friend.
But I mean,
Oh, okay.
after Raven having this experience with Orlando, like I can't imagine why not go lesbian
You
after
never be
that,
able
because
to,
she
you know,
definitely
you never be able
jump
to,
switch.
You know, rub it down. We'll live it down, but you got to realize in your mind you know,
interviewing
it's
him?
just
What?
like Tupac's mom going across the border, you know, getting caught with 5
He's being
million
interviewed by
for a
Vlad
million.
TV.
Is he high?
What the
I'm
hell is
sure.
I feel like
Probably.
What is Vlad TV? That's the YouTube channel we're on here.
It's the way you can watch Trump P videos.
Oh, okay, good. Let's put that on next.
Oh man. Anyway, well, but my point is, based on that video and based on what I remember from Cosby Show and hanging with Mr. Cooper, she was super talented.
Yeah, she
to
was
be
super
that
talented.
young, like
She
you should
came
start
out like a
dance moves
prodigy,
just now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
so
bummer.
true.
I mean, I guess like
I don't know
Macaulay
what
Culkin,
happened.
he was really good at his age, and
Yeah.
now he's an
what's
okay
going
actor
on?
or whatever.
Yeah.
But they all did drugs, all of them. They would all do
That's
drugs
true.
and smoke weed and like the Jonas Brothers even talk about how the first time Joe Jonas smoked weed, he smoked with Demi and Miley Cyrus that enabled him. They
Oh
were,
boy. those harlots that brought him into the den of drugs.
Man, I did it with Dad. It was boring. Nobody's going to want to hear a story about that.
Hypothetically. Apparently, Raven-Symoné left The View in October of 2016 because she is focusing on executive producing and starring in a That's So Raven spinoff.
Oh, it's the
They are.
reboot.
They're doing it. They're doing a reboot.
Why
should
does
be called
every
that-
show have to get a reboot
It should be
now?
called
I don't
That's
know,
Still
Era.
Raven.
but they
Yeah.
rebooted Boy Meets World,
Boy Meets Girl
which
Meets World,
was
yeah.
so good.
It got
Which was
canceled.
So good. It got
It's-
canceled. I
it
know
got
my heart
canceled
is
recently,
crying.
yeah.
Like,
Of course it would.
I don't even understand. Yeah, of course it would. Like, that show is really good and it teaches morals and stuff. Like, I don't know what we got now. We Are the Winks. What's out now? Like, just girls being like,
I don't know what anyone watches
materialistic.
anymore. We don't even
Like,
have.
I don't even understand. My
normal
child isn't
television
watching any
anymore.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
your
don't-
kids
when I
don't
have
even, kids
children,
don't watch
that's
TV.
not-
Kids watch
You pick-
YouTube.
you
They're
pick-
watching Vlad TV and
That's
listening
true.
to Orlando Brown go blah, 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 blah.
Where'd you pick that up?
Blah, blah, blah.
There's
That'd be a
Fuller
whole
House,
language.
Fuller House, Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
Here's
Twin
the-
Will and
Peaks.
Grace is coming
Will and
back
Grace is
too.
coming back. Yep.
So
But if you're bringing all this stuff back, and they just announced another one too that's coming back.
I feel
Really?
like Hey Arnold is coming back.
Hey Arnold's
Well, I
coming
like
back.
Hey Arnold.
But if you
I
bring all
like
that
Hey
back,
Arnold
how do you
too,
not bring
but-
back Family Matters?
Family
that seems
Matters,
like
I know,
Carl's
that's
still
a
working.
joint.
Reginald Vell Johnson, he was just on an episode of It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Jaleel White, I'm sure he's still working.
They
Yeah.
should
around
be
somewhere.
bringing
That'd be
back
fun.
Family
That-
Matters.
like Urkel's the dad, and maybe there's
Yeah.
like a new nerdy neighbor that like, and Urkel's just like, yeah, Josh, you know, like
Like his name's Josh.
Like, I am super happy with them bringing back like some of these shows, but at the same time, it says like, are you not smart enough to come out
We
with a
need
new
new
concept,
shows.
Right, we
like
need new
a new
things.
show that
Well-
kind of can say the same values and things like that? I mean,
Yeah.
just need to give people more opportunities. I think people aren't risk takers anymore.
I think it's also like Americans buy into nostalgia. Like Americans spend a lot of money on nostalgia.
Yeah.
This is a
What
90s
Star Wars-
Idiots. What? Who
It's a
cares?
90s
Who
podcast.
cares about old shit?
okay, talk about something new.
Talk about new things like Rogue One,
You
a
can
Star
check out
Wars
Street
story.
Class Podcast where they talk about new things and current events.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the 90s. I can talk about it all day.
There you go.
No, but you're right. There was a great Onion article, and this was from like 10, 15 years ago before
Yeah.
it's gotten even worse. And it was environmentally conscious Hollywood recycles 97% of material.
It's probably up to 99 at this point.
That's funny. Yeah.
Everything is terrible, is what we're trying to say in all of our lives. It's not. It's a bad time.
It's just a bad time to be alive.
It's a bad time. We got
I blame
Donald Trump.
technology.
I don't know
We
who to
lost
blame.
human connection, and now
Well,
we're just trying to. I don't know.
I think we said this before.
I blame Raven-Symoné.
My theory is,
This is so Raven. Sorry.
but like the first generation to really grow up watching TV grew up in the 60s and 70s, and they made pop culture in the 80s and 90s that was very meta and referenced life growing up watching TV. And then we're the third generation. We grew up watching this pop culture that was meta and referencing previous pop culture, and now the shit we
Fair.
make is crazy meta, like 21 Jump Street and Chips and Baywatch, all these comedy,
Right, these comedy
reboots.
remakes.
And I think that's the thing is we're so nostalgic because the stuff we're nostalgic for is rooted in nostalgia. Whereas if 100 years ago, people weren't going, "Oh man, wasn't the 1890s great?" No,
Yeah.
because 1890s were like the 1880s, 1870s.
But I think another thing with
Things were a little
nostalgia,
different in the 1860s and 1850s.
of course. But I think with nostalgia, a big thing is like, are we craving things like a Baywatch movie, or is it just that some studios
Yeah.
like people know what
No, you're
Baywatch
right,
is?
you're
They'll
right.
watch anything as long as they recognize it. Let's
Yeah.
just make a Baywatch
No,
movie.
it's also
Yeah.
their fault, but it's our
It's
fault
a
for
weird-
going and
it's a
seeing
weird
it.
two-way
If
street,
everybody
I know.
stopped going and seeing it,
Well, I mean, some of them are good. Like 21 Jump Street is a solid
it's a
movie.
very good movie.
Also,
I'm just mad they
documenting-
did away with Girl Meets World because that
Yeah,
was
that
Yeah,
was
that's
a
a
really
bummer.
that was
cute.
a really good reboot.
Yeah,
They
and
did
I
it
love
well.
that girl Rowan.
Yeah.
She's so woke.
Okay.
I just
On the
I
show,
made a-
or is this the actress or
I'm
the
trying to
character?
figure out. You mean the
The
actress?
actresses. I mean, on the show they would include really
This little
like,
girl, that little girl.
Yeah,
the
she's-
main girl.
yeah,
The titular
yeah.
girl.
In real life,
The one that
she-
makes the world. Yeah.
in real life she posts a lot of stuff on her social media channels about like I want to work for women, I don't want to work for men anymore,
okay.
and talking about empowering women and this and that. And Zendaya is a lot like that too.
Oh, she
and
do?
so is what's that girl from Blackish,
I don't know.
The
Mom
daughter?
or the daughter?
Anthony Anderson. He's the only person.
that girl from,
I don't watch
not
Blackish. I've heard
Tracy
it's
Lawrence
really good
Fishburne's
though.
on it too.
Yeah.
Tracy Ellis and Anthony's daughter, like the oldest daughter. I forget her name, but she is also very like like there's just a bunch of young girls coming up in the Hollywood like movement that are like, we're feminists, and they're saying it loud and proud, and they're like, fuck y'all.
I mean, especially now, they need to.
Yeah.
Is it any one of these names?
Sad lives.
Yeah, let's give her some due. Yara Shahidi.
Yara Martin. Yara
Shahidi. All right, so check out her
Yara
social media.
Shahidi.
There you go. By the way, Boy Meets World, Girl Meets World wasn't canceled. They actually did record an entire new season, but they forgot to format the SD
They
card.
forgot, so it's just lost.
It's just gone for it. But the
was just-
audience
It
appreciated
was just
it.
for the benefit of Ben Savage.
He's telling a joke.
I hate you.
Pick it up, Karen. Pick it up,
I hate
Karen.
you too,
Oh my
Jack.
gosh.
You piece of garbage.
I don't think Disney actually records on SD card. Well, maybe they do.
I
The
don't
audio, yeah.
Save some money.
Oh boy. So we got 3 minutes. What? How more '90s references can we infuse into this podcast?
Well,
I don't know.
I have my book of 90s.
Oh, here we
Let's
go.
see here.
We're only
What
getting to
else
the book
we
of 90s with the
have?
last 3 minutes. And really, it's like 80 minutes because we lost 20 minutes in the
Well,
middle.
we talked about the O.J. Simpson trial.
I don't know if that made it. I don't know what's
we
in.
didn't make it.
I don't know if that was actually
think
in there.
that- I
And
think
then the
that
Rodney
was.
King riots.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that was.
That was. Let's end it on something big and happy.
I was going
though.
to say, let's end it on Rodney
Super
King.
pause. Let's end it on something soups pause.
Like,
What's
I don't
that?
know.
I don't know what that
I
was.
just
What did you
love
just
all
say?
of
Super
them.
positive, bro.
Oh, super positive.
Juice, Boys in
Juice?
the Hood.
Oh, Juice.
Juice, the movie. The movie.
Let's talk about Juice.
90s Jews.
Oh, Juice was great.
Brandy and Monica. The Boy Is Mine.
I
Brandy and Monica.
love that song.
Do you
It's
know they
such a
have
good-
so much beef right now?
Oh yeah, because
It's crazy.
I know it's crazy because Monica's coming out, and then Brandy's like, "What you forgot about me?"
Yeah, it's like okay.
Huh.
Brandy and Monica's. Monica said something like on Tina Turner's like anniversary was like, "I miss you, love you, godmother, blah blah," and Brandy was like, "Well, she wasn't your godmother. She was like
Wow.
on like social
Throwing
media,
some
like,
shade.
she's my godmother."
Wow.
Because she did play her.
Yeah.
Was it? I'm thinking
Like,
Whitney.
well,
They
it
should
was
bring
very
Moesha
well
back.
known that Brandy and Whitney had like
Whitney.
a
Sorry, I
really
said Tina.
Whitney Houston had like a really tight relationship.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, Monica just kind of came out of the wind with all that, but I mean, came out of the boondocks with all that. But whatever. Brandy
Yeah.
ain't had to call her out on it though.
That's petty.
That's real petty.
That's super petty.
I mean, the girl's
I would
dead.
do that.
You would do that, Karen.
I
be
would
like,
do
for real,
that.
Karen. Is it really that serious?
Yes.
Oh, boy. What's Monica been up to? I don't even know aside from
Well,
that
she came
song.
out with another song, and it
Is
was
she
like it
around?
was getting some sort of heat, but now
Yeah.
I think it's dying
Recently,
down.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Recently,
But-
she just did the So Gone challenge, which she had people rap to the So Gone beat,
That's fun.
and
But
a
see,
bunch of people would rap
I
and
don't-
put it on YouTube and Vine, and it got a lot
Really?
of praise. And then Brandy tried to do that with one of her songs, and it didn't.
It didn't work.
Ooh.
But see, I don't know why Brandy is hating because she has a solid like acting career now. She was on the game and everything.
Oh, I
So
didn't see that.
yeah.
Yeah, she does.
So I don't know why she hating,
But it's kind of sad when you have to go on like Love and Hip Hop Hollywood or whatever
know.
as Ray J's sister.
I know. Ain't
Like
it-
everyone referred to Ray J as Brandy's
sister
Yeah.
for the
She's getting
longest
referred
time.
to
Yeah.
as
Oh,
Ray J's
God.
sister.
Yeah.
That's sad. That sucks.
oh well.
And she would have stayed famous. She could have easily done one of those shitty VH1 shows, but she didn't.
She didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, hopefully in the long run, better choice for her.
Better, yeah.
We'll see where Ray J is. I don't even know where he is now.
Yeah, right
mean-
here.
Oh, hey, Ray.
I mean, I
You've
used
been
to like
quiet.
that family, but ever since it came out that she faked a marriage because she was pregnant, I was just like, really, Brandy? I've been looking at
Jeez.
him sideways ever since.
That's a good reason.
Wow.
And that's a great place to end the show.
Absolutely. Wow. So we learned a lot here in this extra long size episode
For us.
that you guys won't hear
Yeah,
any of
I
the
know.
and I'm
unrecorded
really
stuff.
sorry because we had a great conversation
Oh
about
my
Tupac.
gosh.
We really did.
Tupac and everything.
Latino community.
You'll have to come back when you want to talk about Tupac again. and
Maybe
we'll do that.
somehow we can find that recording, even though it didn't
Even though
happen.
there is no recording.
And we'll release it years after we've died. And people
Yeah.
could be like, they're still a street
That's
class,
right.
90s percentile. They're still alive. They're still releasing new material.
Something we
definitely.
referenced until we talk about Tupac. But the show is over. We're wrapping things up. And thank you guys so much for being here. But before we get out of here, we want to know, what did you guys learn today?
That's a good question.
I learned about Nancy Kerrigan and white women tears.
Okay, definitely, yeah, for sure.
I learned about Zenon because I had no idea what that movie
I
was.
thought that was like a Scientology.
I was like, what is this? I was reminded of Connects because I was like, what is that?
That's a thing.
Hopefully in the show.
I actually
Hopefully
I
it's
don't
in
remember
the
if
show.
it's in
We
there or
don't
not.
even know, Lord.
Yeah.
And then what's that one? Garth Brooks, I was reminded
Garth
of.
Brooks, yes. Was that
hopefully that's
was
in the
that
show?
in the show? I don't know if
Maybe
it was.
I don't even
Chris
know.
I have
Gaines.
no idea.
All
We
right.
talked
You
about
know?
Garth Brooks
Dan,
at
what
one
have
point.
you learned?
This was definitely in the piece that is lost to time, but I learned that hip hop is a catch-all term that covers rap and R&B, and I never knew that before. So that was a legit. I learned something today.
There you go. And I guess I'll take something from the deleted stuff because
It's not deleted. It is
It's
gone.
It's never happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never recorded.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Just so our audience knows what was going on, I learned that there's a great Tupac song. Changes.
No, it's not even. It's not even.
Turn the
Tupac
beat
is
So I
around.
see no changes. All I see is different.
Tupac is in Cuba right now. He just dropped his blunt and was like, "What happened?
What just happened?
Yeah.
Someone's
Like,
talking about me and
someone-
ruined
On a
my
podcast.
lyrics."
They ruined
Somebody's
me.
being really white right now.
Everything.
So Karen Onyi, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Your podcast, where can people get that?
Oh my gosh, they can check us out on SoundCloud, and iTunes.
Yep.
We got 2 locations,
Yep.
people.
2
2
locations.
locations. So it's no
Class
excuse.
podcast.
You got to pick.
Street
Eventually, you're gonna
Class
have to pick a
Podcast.
side.
Exactly.
In the war,
Eventually.
in the podcast
Eventually.
wars.
Yeah, the Great Pod Wars.
And you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all them social medias.
Yeah.
Well, Google Street Class or as at Street Class Pod.
On Facebook and Instagram is at Street Class Podcast, and then on Twitter is at Street Class Pod.
Nice.
That's what
Very
the cool
cool.
Twitter accounts do. They do just pod.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So follow us at 90s Percentile.
Oh yeah, I was thinking We Studios Pod.
I know. We also have We Studios
We
Pod.
Studios Pod.
So you can follow us there for, that's just We Studios generally.
Yeah, normally we do a review of our show, but today we're going to do a review for you guys. So since we're plugging Street Class, because you're new and we want to welcome you to the podcast neighborhood. Even though
tearing
you
up.
guys literally live like 3 hours away, we are as south as you can get, and you're as north as you can get.
Yeah.
Sure am.
In New York. Why don't you guys take turns? Figure it out for yourselves.
I know.
Reading your very first 5-star review on iTunes. That was
Street Class Podcast.
Snap. Okay, so we have Get Ready for Life to Change. 5 stars by
The Carpet Avenger of Caves.
Ooh.
Thanks.
I don't know
And-
what that means. It's
Wait,
very
does it
cryptic.
go on to say this show is so funny that to star at it direct? What?
I think he means
guess-
to stare at it directly.
It might be one of our dumb listeners who
It
typed
could
this.
be.
That to stare at it directly causes allergies to cats.
Now, I don't understand
I don't
any
understand
of that.
any
I
of
don't
that.
understand it,
I don't
but
understand.
I'm a
But-
dog person,
But
so
the
hey.
the four, what is that? Exclamation points at the end.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes me
That's
feel
good.
That
We
makes
never
them
got
very
4
excited.
Makes me
exclamation points.
feel
I know.
very good about that.
But if you're listening and you want to give us 4 exclamation points, rate the show on iTunes.
Snap.
Yeah.
If you want to spend some money, you can go to
Amazon.wepodcast.com
and click, that'll take you right to Amazon. Just shop like you normally would. Buy whatever you want.
Buy some
Buy
Raven
Tupac
albums.
CDs.
Buy Tupac CDs. No, don't buy CDs. People don't buy CDs.
Yeah, they do.
Buy CDs.
Wait, I do.
You still buy
kind of.
CDs?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't buy
because,
CDs.
Because, when I was trying to get on that MP3 kick, my PC.
That's sad.
My PC got a virus. And I said, you know what? I'm never
That's why you gotta get
downloading
this.
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Look, you look to your left, I got, there's 100, 200 DVDs. I don't watch them anymore because
No.
of the act of opening the case.
It's
Yeah.
much
Diskette.
too difficult.
When I could just go to
Yeah.
Netflix and,
And
just
then
press a button.
press it on.
Yeah,
Watch
they're right
anything.
there.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of
That's
movies
true.
right there. I will not watch them.
That's
Wow.
true.
You don't watch the Poseidon Adventure anymore?
That's
Not
a
much
good
call for
movie.
that.
That's a very good movie.
All right. We've taken up
plus
enough of
they-
your time.
And plus, they take up so much space, too.
They do.
I know,
I got
yeah.
rid of a whole bunch of my DVDs.
But you know what?
that's
Nothing can replace a book, though. I can't
Yeah.
do that. I have to read like a hard copy book. I can't do
Have you
this.
done a Kindle?
actually-
I can't do the Kindle.
I'm like
can't.
all Kindle these
You all
days.
Kindle?
I was that
I do
guy.
like the physical
I
book,
was
though.
physical book guy. I went to that, and I also do audiobooks now. I'm obsessed with audiobooks because I can do them when I'm
Yeah,
doing
that's
dishes
true.
and
While
shit.
you're doing dishes,
But
yeah,
I still,
that's really
I still
good.
do. I try to do one and one at the same time. A physical book. Physical book is for home. Kindle is for when I'm like I
the
want to be
subway.
carrying
On the
around.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
But
for having
You should do
us.
it.
Thank you for being here. We've taken up enough of your time with all of this nonsense of losing recordings. So, Karen, Anya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Street Class Podcast. Check it out.
Much fun.
Yeah, so much fun.
Do we get detention? Did we get detention for today's fuck up?
Oh yes, for
Because
sure.
you guys give out detention on your podcast.
For
You give
sure.
out homework.
Our next episode, we're gonna be like, Karen, I'm giving these folks detention.
Damn it. All right.
Nah. But you know what? You guys get out early because this recording was so much fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
It was,
Free period.
It was
All right.
so much fun. You might even get a pass.
Oh, we're going to go to the
That
parking lot
much
and
fun.
smoke cigarettes.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for the show. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we'll see you in another decade if we record it.
Which we might not.